Daniel and Teal'c are... No, that's not Teal'c. That's Mitchell. I'm fine.
They're very similar.
Yes. Daniel...
Easy to get confused. Welcome to Stargazing, a Stargate gazing podcast. I'm your host, Mary.
And I'm your other host, Kathy.
And each week we review an episode of Stargate alternating between SG-1 and Atlantis. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
I'm okay.
Yeah. Well, anything new going on?
Not really.
No, me either.
No, I don't have a whole lot to report today. Trying to think. Did I do anything new? No, I really didn't. Just work, mostly.
Yeah.
And that's it. Been playing my fiddle a bit and trying to get back to some Irish sessions, and that's fun. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. I discovered that Blue Steel likes sleeping on my sweatshirts.
Excellent.
Which is very cute. I guess that's
Indeed.
The most exciting thing going on in my life.
Very thrilling.
Yes. Everyone wishes they were me.
Absolutely. So since we don't have a whole lot to talk about today, let's just go right into the episode.
Yes,
apparently.
Let's do that.
Yeah, what are we talking about today?
Yeah, there's no way I would segue this anyway.
Yeah.
This is Stargate Atlantis, Season 3, Episode 9, Phantoms.
The episode starts in a hallway outside of the control room. Shepard comes and catches up with Weir. They're having an issue with Major Leonard's team. Do we know who Major Leonard is? I couldn't remember.
Not that I recall.
Okay. Turns out they are late from returning from M1B 129, or wherever the hell that is. And they've been getting some unusual energy readings from it, which is why the team was sent there to begin with. An anomalous spike that the MELP picked up. The planet is uninhabited, so they still want to go and take a closer look at it, and they also want to see what the hell happened to Major Leonard's team. Especially because they are 6 hours overdue at this point. Rodney is there and says they tried contacting them by radio, but the signal was not great and lots of static. So he thinks that it's because of whatever energy anomaly is there, but he's not quite sure. He wants to go and check it out in person too, because of course, Rodney wants to check out any weird energy readings.
Yeah.
So Weir okays the mission and tells them to take an additional Marine unit as well. And take Dr. Becket with you while you're at it, just in case that missing team is in need of some medical help. So that's what they're going to do.
Again, the only medic is their chief medical officer for the whole base.
Yeah, that doesn't really make a whole ton of sense.
No, but I do like having Becket places, so...
Yeah, I always like a good episode that's got Dr. Becket in it a bit more.
Yeah.
So next scene, we get the wormhole effect, and then we are on said planet. Shepard tries to call to Major Leonard, but of course does not get any response. Everybody tries to radio to them, but the radios are just not working very well. Again, probably because of the weird energy things. So they give up on that. Rodney specifically calls the energy reading that he's getting puzzling. Dr. Becket asks what it is, and Rodney says, well, I did say it was puzzling, didn't I?
What seems to be your boggle?
So Rodney does not actually know what it is, but they see some tracks. Ronan specifically sees some tracks. So they're going to go and follow those and see where they lead.
They follow the signal. Rodney says his readings are getting stronger for whatever it is. So yay. And then they spot bodies. There's dead people.
Walking around like regular people. They don't know they're dead.
That have been there for quite a while. They're Janai, apparently, according to their clothing. They notice that these folks were not killed by Wraith, but were in fact shot and stabbed.
Yes.
Depending on the person. So they conclude these folks all killed one another violently. So they're like, crap, what happened to the other team that came through? Where's Major Leonard and his guys? Uh-oh. And then credits. They continue walking, searching for the missing team. Ronan's like, I thought you said the planet was uninhabited. And Rodney's like, that's what it said in the database. Shepard says it recently became habited, which is definitely the word. Becket wonders if the Janai are the cause of these energy readings, and Rodney says probably. Maybe it's one of their nuclear testing sites. Wouldn't that be fun? One of the extra team members that they brought along with them, pipes up and is like, nuclear testing site? So I already am worried for this person being here with the main team and having a line.
Does not seem to end well with the random team members that come along and have a line.
No, but it didn't work well for the ones who don't have lines either. So.
This is also true.
Then Ronan hears something or sees something.
When you see something, say something.
So he stops and they're like, what? What was it? Rodney's like, person, animal, syllables? But he doesn't have an answer for them. Shepard shouts out to Leonard, hoping it's Leonard, but they hear nothing, and Ronan's like, okay, I probably didn't really see anything. It's fine. It's nothing. They find a cave. They've been led there by Rodney's scanner. So they're going to go in and have a look.
The team heads into the cave, and it's kind of gross inside because it's apparently a Wraith thing. So it's got like tissues and stuff all over the walls. I don't know. I thought it was gross.
Yes.
It reminded me a little bit of the ship on Farscape, but also a little bit of the snail in the original Dr. Dolittle movie. I don't know why, but that's where my brain went with this. So yeah, so there's like tissues and stuff on the walls, and it's just kind of gross. And then they find more dead bodies. This one has its head completely snapped around, so that's disturbing. And probably the person that did that was the other dead guy that shot himself nearby, so neat.
Yeah.
Yep. They think that this must be a Wraith bunker, despite the presence of Janai. The Janai must have stumbled onto it by mistake. It was abandoned some time ago, a long time ago, they're guessing, by the looks of things, and the Janai probably found it a while after that, but still kind of a long time ago, given the decomposition of the bodies. But why it prompted everybody to then kill each other, that they don't know. Rodney likens it to a Hardy Boys mystery. So they're going to check things out. Teyla and Ronan are going to go and look out in the area immediately around the cave. And meanwhile, I guess he's going to stay in here for now with Becket and Rodney to try to figure out this technology. They make their way deeper into the cave and find what seems to be some sort of control thing. I don't want to call it a control panel, but it was, I don't know, a larger piece of
tissue?
Living machinery, I guess I would call it. Rodney says that it looks just like an energy conduit on a Wraith ship.
Is he supposed to look like that?
Still,
Juicy.
yes.
Every bit as disgusting. Which, yes, I agree. And they also have power going to it. The same kind of weird energy readings that they were getting when they sent the map through initially. So this thing is still active, whatever it is. What exactly it is doing, who knows? And the energy conduits, they're kind of like these tendrils leading away from the thing. He figures that those must be antenna for that signal. So likely this is what was interfering with the radio communications to give them static when they were trying to talk to the missing team before. They figure that the Janai found this place, activated it somehow because it probably wasn't on the whole time that it was abandoned, and did whatever any other good soldier would do in their situation, Rodney says, which Shepard follows up with, shot the hell out of it. So yes, they turned it on and then tried to break it and destroy it and did not actually manage to turn it off. Because that's what the hybrid organic design does. It withstands damage very well and then heals itself. Kagan, who is the guy that was on the Marine team that we mentioned before, his name is Kagan, and he asked if the frequency can hurt them. Rodney doesn't think so, apart from the obvious sterility issues. Shepard is a bit alarmed by that. And then Teyla comes back in and says that they've found the team.
So they go check that out. And it's more dead people. But this time it's their people. And they're less decomposed than the bodies they'd already found.
Because they only just died.
Yes. But they're still missing their leader, Major Leonard. Becket says they're killed by MP5 fire, shot multiple times. I'm guessing that's the guns that Leonard was carrying.
Yeah. The implication was that it was their own guns they were firing on each other.
Then Rodney finds a camera because in these situations, you need a camera. These are the only times you need a camera, at least, you know.
I was thinking to myself, Daniel's not even there. Why is there a camera? He's always got a camera just when it's needed, but never any other time.
That's right. And just like that, we've got this camera. So they have a look. It still has battery power, which is good. And we switch to video view. where they document their arriving. They're finding the bodies just like Team Shart did. Then they find the cave. It's all very similar. The video footage is not constant. It does come and go, so they weren't recording the whole time. And then at one point we do get the shaky running through the forest view from the camera where there's gunfire and everything, and it does not end well. The camera falls. Somebody shouts, "For Prometheus, where are you?" And then the video ends. Rodney's like, "The Prometheus was destroyed last year. What the hell?" They're like, "Leonard killed his own men? That's not great. Well, we don't understand what's going on." Ronan says maybe whatever made the Janai kill one another affected them too. Rodney wants to go have a look at the bloody machine back there, as Becket calls it, to see if they can figure out what's going on. But Shepard says, no, we have to go back to Atlantis. So let's gather up our dead.
Bring out your dead!
And head back, and we'll figure it out later.
So they head back towards the gate. They're trying to carry all of the dead bodies with them, which is a lot of dead bodies for a team of just 4 people.
Well, they had their extra guys with them.
Oh, that's right. They've got 8 people. It's still a lot of bodies for 8 people, though.
Yeah.
Because I would imagine they're all relatively heavy.
Yeah.
Rodney wants to stop and take a break, but nobody else wants to take a break. He complains about his sciatica that he's had since getting shot in the ass by an arrow, but nobody cares. Ronan sees something weird and kind of misty moving through the woods, tells everyone to get down, so everybody does, and they don't see anything, though. Everybody's looking around and being very quiet, but there seems to be nothing here. Shepard asks Ronan if he's okay, and he says he is, and they all keep moving to the gate. Once they get there, Shepard tells one of the Marines to dial the DHD, but as soon as he hits the first button, the DHD explodes.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Oops.
Yep, so that's bad. Everyone gets knocked to the ground. Somehow nobody really seemed to be injured, except for the guy that was actually there at the DHD himself. So, of course, Dr. Becket gets right on that. But it doesn't really do any good because this guy is already dead, unfortunately. One of the other Marines there, named Barrasso, who was trying to help Becket with this, suddenly gets shot by an automatic weapon. Ronan thinks it's Wraith, but Shepard realizes, no, that's not Wraith. They don't have those kinds of weapons. It's automatic gunfire. So that means it's Leonard. Shepard tells him to stand down, which he doesn't really do, but he just kind of falls back a bit and hides. Kagan, that we've mentioned before, has also been shot, so Rodney and Becket are trying to help him. Ronan chases Leonard out into the woods.
Into the woods, it's time to go. I hate to leave, I have to though.
Kagan asks Becket how bad it really is, and Beckett's like, yeah, you're gonna be fine. You'll be just fine. Shepard and Ronan, meanwhile, are continuing to chase after Leonard and try to stop him, although they are not able to catch up with him, so they kind of give up, I guess. Meanwhile, Teyla's also trying to help Barrasso there, so they're all trying to help the 2 guys that have been shot and are wounded. Barrasso seems mostly okay. He's doing at least a bit better than Kagan is. While all this is going on, Rodney tries to connect his laptop directly to the DHD to try to use that to dial out, but that's not going to work because he's just not able. Shepard says, I don't really need any heroics right now. Just tell me that it is going to work rather than pretending that it's not going to work and then magically fixing it. Rodney says he wouldn't do that. But no, he actually does not have any way that he can use the DHD. There's just not enough power for it. So even though he might be able to connect to it, there's no way to actually dial anything with it. So they're going to head back to the weird Wraith bunker, bringing their wounded guys with them. Meanwhile, Ronan, I guess, is going to try to go after Leonard. At this point, they are overdue for their check-in at Atlantis. They know that Dr. Weir will know something is up once all she gets is static, and so hopefully maybe she'll send some help or some supplies or something. But in the meantime, Rodney's going to try to shut down that generator so that they can actually communicate with her when she calls in.
We get a quick shot of them walking back the way they came, carrying now their wounded instead of their dead.
I am wounded!
And then they're back at the cave. Rodney and Teyla are working on the problem itself, while Becket is working on the wounded. Kagan does not look good. He's on a table inside the cave. Barrasso is hanging out nearby, also wounded. Shepard asks how they're doing, and Becket says Barrasso's shoulder is bleeding internally, but he thinks it's going to be okay, but Kagan's not looking so good. He says complicated surgery and blood transfusions are needed, but all he has is his medical kit. So Shepard's like, okay, try to keep him alive. We're going to definitely get out of here soon. And Beckett's like, that's soon is probably only minutes for poor Lieutenant Kagan. Shepard heads over to check on Rodney and Teyla's progress, but he hasn't really made too much. The only thing he can tell is that this might have been some kind of Wraith experiment that was abandoned. Teyla's like, it doesn't really matter what it is. They just need to turn it off, and she's trying to get Rodney to focus on that. Rodney is talking about what the energy reading is they're actually seeing what it is. And Teyla's like, is that what made everyone kill each other? And Rodney says he hopes so. And Shepard is like, you hope so? And it was very funny, just the delivery of that. But Rodney's reasonably says, if it's not, there are two weird things going on, and one is just fine by me. So hopefully it's all fixed by one turning off of device.
Hopefully so.
Yeah.
Ronan has not gone off after Leonard as he had suggested before, but instead he is outside the cave entrance guarding it. And then he sees that kind of shadowy movement again, like when the Wraith are running around but trying to mask their location. Then off in the distance, he actually sees a Wraith running through the woods. And then he sees another one and a couple more. So that's not good. But then we're back inside the cave. Shepard says that whatever this thing is supposed to be, he doesn't imagine that it's working the way that it's supposed to, because it doesn't really make any sense to have the prey kill each other, because then the Wraith can't feed on them. But Rodney still doesn't really know what it is. He thinks that maybe the antenna things are actually just overgrown tendrils, so maybe they weren't actually supposed to extend out the way that they are to be used as antenna as he initially had guessed. Whoever turned it on and turned it all the way up just kind of left it there, so probably whatever it was supposed to do, it is working to a much greater extreme than it was actually initially intended. So once again, they're guessing that the Janai discovered it, started messing around with stuff, and when they couldn't figure it out, just tried to destroy it, but then weren't successful at it.
Oh, the Janai.
What in the name of Jesus was that?
Yep. And because they have damaged it as much as they have, it's not going to be easy to shut it off. Yes, the thing has healed itself, at least partially, but they can't just turn it off. It's going to take a bit more effort than that. Of course, Rodney will be able to do it, but it's just going to take some time and some Rodneying in order for that to happen, since the control console is all shot to hell. So he's going to work with Teyla to try to bypass that console and shut it off using his tablet, basically.
Yeah.
Then they hear weapons fire from outside, and they know that it is Ronan shooting at something. So everybody runs outside to see what's going on, except for Becket.
Yeah. They shout for Ronan, who is not in eyeline anymore. That doesn't do anything, so Shepard's like, okay, Teyla and I are gonna go find Ronan. Everybody else stay here. Rodney, turn that thing off. And then we're in Atlantis, where Weir and Not Chucknician are talking about how the team hasn't returned or checked in. Weir tells the Not Chucknician to... I don't know what to call this woman, but I'm just going to keep calling her Not Chucknician.
That also works.
He's off visiting Walter.
Yes.
Having one of their famous talks about how they keep everything running.
Absolutely.
So Weir tells her to try to establish a radio link and figure out what's going on and offer assistance if they need it. That's all that happened there. It was very exciting.
Yes.
Teyla and Shepard are pursuing Ronan. Teyla wonders if he's feeling the effects of the Wraith device, and Shepard says, I hope we find him before he finds us, if that's the case. And then we're back inside the cave with Rodney. He's asked Becket for a scalpel because he is having no luck with this device. He needs to cut through it like it's surgery. Maybe you should do it. Beckett's like, I got enough surgerying to do right now. Rodney asks how Kroger is, and Becket corrects him. His name is Kagan. Rodney could not remember this guy's name, and that's the end of that scene.
Names are hard.
They are
I understand,
hard.
Rodney.
Yeah. After Rodney said that, I couldn't stop thinking of him as Kroger anyway, so...
Elsewhere in the cave, Becket finds Barrasso standing by Kagan. He's trying to put on his flak jacket and his gun because he wants to go outside and help guard. Becket says, absolutely not. You are not going out there because Barrasso is quite injured himself, even though he's not in as bad of a shape as Kagan. He's still got a big bandage on his chest that is covered in blood. Becket orders him off his feet, but Barrasso says that he'll just sit outside. He promises he'll be off his feet once he gets there, but someone needs to be taking watch at the entrance. And since Teyla and Shepard have gone off after Ronan, someone's got to be out there, so it's got to be him. Becket really doesn't like this idea, but again, Barrasso says he's just going to relax at the entrance. He's not going to run off after anything, but just someone needs to keep watch. And he promises he won't go anywhere away from the entrance and tells Becket to just keep looking after Kagan, which Becket does see the logic to what Barrasso is saying, so does eventually agree. When Becket returns to Kagan, he is awake and asks how Dr. McKay is doing. Beckett's like, yeah, he's great. Everything's fine. He'll figure it out soon. He's the smartest man I've ever met. Which I thought was rather funny because they're not going to be out of there as quickly as Becket was trying to convince him that they will be. So Becket keeps trying to treat his wounds. And it's basically, there's just so much blood everywhere for poor Kagan. It's really not looking good.
Look at the bones!
He hasn't stopped bleeding yet, so Becket tells him he's going to have to apply some additional ligatures. So Kagan's got to get ready for that.
Yeah. Shepard and Teyla spot Ronan. Ronan is looking at something else, so they're like, what's that? But they don't see anything, so Shepard calls out to Ronan. Ronan tells him to stay back. And then Teyla's shot in the leg by Leonard, who is what Ronan was looking at.
That's bad.
Yeah. So they return fire while Shepard moves Teyla out of the way. Shepard tries to yell to Leonard to not shoot them all, but he keeps shooting. Ronan gets closer. Ronan, though, is not seeing Major Leonard. Ronan is seeing Wraith. The Wraith runs off, so Ronan pursues. Shepard cannot get him to stop. And then some guy is calling Shepard's name, and he looks down, and it's some guy named Holland. Not Teyla, who is injured. This guy wants to know what Shepard's doing there, and Shepard's like, Holland? What's going on? And Teyla's like, John? What's going on? She asks him if he's okay, and he's sort of snapped out of it, at least for the time being. He says he's okay, so he's going to dress Teyla's wound. That was strange.
Quite. Shepard's seeing stuff.
Yep.
Ronan's also apparently seeing stuff
Yeah.
since he thought Leonard was a Wraith. It's looking suspicious.
Indeed.
After Shepard bandages Teyla back up, he helps her through the woods back to a shelter that they have found. It's not the cave, it's more of a camouflage tent, presumably left there by Leonard's team maybe, or maybe by the Janai or whatever. And I was thinking here that we learn finally that Teyla is not quite as badass as Samantha Carter is, because when Samantha Carter was either like stabbed or shot in the leg and put a tourniquet on it, she was running around the woods all by herself without any help, as implausible as that was. So Teyla here is leaning on Shepard and not using her injured leg.
Oh, she's so weak.
I know.
Nobody is Sam.
This
Not
is
even
true.
Teyla.
Yep, nope, not even Teyla. Shepard gestures for Teyla to stop, and she hangs onto a tree branch for support while Shepard goes and checks out what he's seeing moving around ahead. He calls out to Leonard. He looks into the shelter that he's standing near to see if anybody is in there, but nope, there's no one around. Although there are some MRE packages inside, so maybe Teyla can get some food. That would be good. Shepard says that they're all clear, so whatever that movement was, who knows, but there's nobody in the tent, so that is good. So they go and make their way in. And they figure that Leonard must have built this place at some point before whatever happened to him has ended up happening to him. Shepard wants to clean up Teyla's dressing. He says it was a little bit sloppy since he put it on pretty quickly. and it's still bleeding pretty badly when he takes a look at it, so you're not supposed to actually take off the dressing. You're just supposed to add more layers on top of it, Shepard. That's like basic first aid, but whatever. He is going to change it for Teyla and then go get Dr. Becket. Teyla asks Shepard what the hell is going on back there, and also, why did you look so confused when you saw me on the ground? What was happening? And Shepard says that, nothing. Everything's fine. Everything is fine. I just remembered somebody all of a sudden and it caught me off guard. That was all, right? Yeah, that was all.
Yeah.
Teyla asks if whatever he was feeling or seeing had anything to do with the Wraith generator, but Shepard has no idea, but promises that he is fine. He has no violent urges yet. He asks Teyla how she's doing, and she's perfectly fine. She has no urges to kill him, as Shepard asks. So, great. That's excellent. Maybe whatever is in Teyla's DNA that gives her the ability to kind of at least partially communicate with them telepathically is helping her to be immune to whatever is going on here, they're guessing.
I'm glad they put that throwaway line in there because I was like, why didn't this affect Teyla at all?
Yeah, that was what I was guessing too. I actually kind of missed that line, but I assumed that would be the case.
Yeah.
They hear some rifle fire outside, so that's not great. Shepard's going to go and check out what's going on. He heads out and moves forward to a large tree that he hides behind, and Leonard is out there firing at seemingly nothing. He runs out of ammo in one gun, throws it away, and starts shooting with his pistol. Again, still firing at nothing.
Yeah.
That gun runs out of ammo also. So Shepard runs after him now that Leonard is unarmed. He calls to him, and Leonard looks over at him, not recognizing Shepard at all still. Shepard tells him, it's okay, it's me, it's Shepard. But Leonard still has no idea what's going on. From what we see when we're seeing things from Leonard's standpoint, there's a full-on Cull warrior there instead of Shepard.
Those guys.
Yeah. We haven't seen them in a while, and we haven't seen them at all in this series.
True.
You doubt my power.
Shepard continues to try to reason with Leonard, but we keep getting shots of what Leonard is seeing, which is just Cull warrior in the place of Shepard, and then also other Cull warriors around them where there are no actual people. Leonard calls into his radio that he's got 4 super soldiers on him, and he needs his backup right away. Shepard assures him that no, they're all alone, and he's perfectly safe. But then Leonard grabs his grenade that he keeps in his flak jacket. Shepard realizes what is happening right before it blows up because Leonard holds it to his chest, and he manages to get out of the way just in time. Teyla is there at the entrance to the tent, so she was watching this whole thing. When Shepard says that he's going to try to go back and get Leonard's dog tags, he all of a sudden stops as though he's listening to something. Teyla asks what's wrong, and we hear Jeep noises. Shepard tells her that's what he's hearing, but she doesn't hear anything. He reminds himself, oh, right, you wouldn't know what a Jeep sounds like. But it's not that Teyla doesn't know what a Jeep sounds like, it's that she doesn't hear anything at all.
Nope.
So Shepard is apparently starting to hallucinate himself.
Yes. Alarming.
Indeed.
And we're back in the cave with Becket and Kagan. Kagan thanks Becket for helping him, and Beckett's like, don't say anything. You're going to be fine. Just hang in there. Then Kagan stops breathing, so Becket tries CPR. And then we're back in Atlantis. And now I don't have not Chucknition, we have Zelenka in the control room. He's trying to get in touch with the people on the planet, but it is not working. Weir comes to see him and asks how it's going, and Zelenka's like, nope. We've tried a bunch of different things. We've tried a bunch of different times. We cannot talk to anybody, so Weir orders a UAV sent through. So they're going to try that next. Back in the cave with Becket, Barrasso comes in to ask how things are going with Kagan, and he sees that, nope. It does not seem Becket was able to save Kagan. He's covered his body with a sheet, and Becket says he did everything he could. And he really wants to get the hell out of here. He'll be better once he's out of here. But things are not all lost. Barrasso calls to Becket, tells him to get over there, and Kagan is not dead after all.
You think I'll go for a walk?
You're not fooling anyone, you know.
He's alive, awake, and says Becket's name, so that's alarming as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then we're deeper in the cave with Rodney, who's still working on fixing the thing enough to turn it off. Becket is there talking to him about what just happened, where he knew that Kagan was dead and he had been trying his best to revive him with no luck, and then all of a sudden he was alive again. Rodney thinks that Becket is just imagining things, although could be the effects of the generator. He's learning a bit more about the experiment the Wraith had been conducting here, and he thinks that they were trying to improve their ability to manipulate the minds of their prey. So they already have that ability to make them see things that aren't there. Maybe this thing is just meant to strengthen that and also give it a larger area of effect. But then the Janai dialed it all the way up, as we said before, and so now there's a massive pulse leaving out of this thing, and probably that is what's messing with everybody's heads, making them see things and hear things that are not actually there, inciting violence, pulling up traumatic images from the past, all of that stuff. And great, now there's a power surge, so that's terrible. Becket thought that the thing was already at full power, and Rodney says that he thought that it was, but maybe the Janai destroying the control console did something extra that he didn't know of before, destabilizing any kind of power regulation. So Rodney's trying to fix that before things get even worse. Becket asks Rodney if he's experienced anything weird yet, but Rodney says no, he's fine. Everyone's brain chemistry is different, and maybe some people are just more susceptible than others. I'm sure that Rodney was thinking that it's just because he's so smart.
Yeah.
That
Sure.
he wasn't being affected. He tells Becket that he smoked pot once in college and didn't feel a thing. Beckett's like, really? But apparently he did actually get very itchy and had an overpowering urge to eat an entire loaf of white bread. So he did at least feel a little something. Suddenly, Rodney's laptop starts to beep, and Rodney is dismayed by what he's seeing. The power levels are actually increasing again beyond what they had already done. Becket tries to keep asking Rodney for more information, but Rodney's really got to concentrate, so he yells at Becket to leave him alone, basically. And Rodney continues to work frantically, while then yelling at his computer, no!
Oh, Rodney. Out in the woods with Teyla and Shepard. Shepard is working on dressing her wound again, or still. He's still hearing jeeps outside and shushes Teyla when she asks about it. She says there's nothing out there, and Shepard's like, you cannot hear all this jeep and these people I can now hear talking? Teyla is alarmed. She hears none of this. Shepard says they're coming closer, and Teyla tries to reason with him. He's imagining it, but unfortunately, Shepard is gone.
Yep.
Like, physically, he leaves her in the little shelter, but also, in his head, he's full on in Afghanistan.
Yep.
He is dressed in deserty BDUs, and there's a giant helicopter crashed in the desert. And he finds his friend Holland again, who...
Yeah, the same guy he saw before.
Yeah, who still has a wounded leg.
Exactly where Tayla's injury is.
Yeah, isn't that strange how that is? Holland tells Shepard he's out of his mind and asks where the rest of his crew is, and he realizes that Shepard did this all by himself, flew back here against orders.
Shepard says it wasn't so much against orders as he just didn't wait for approval.
It's semantics.
Which I'm like, yes, that's a very
yeah.
Shepard thing to do.
Yeah. They both don't have helicopters to fly out of there, so Holland's like, cool, we're both gonna die out here.
Yeah.
Shepard's like, nah, we got this. There's a few Taliban here and there they gotta worry about, but it's fine. 6 or so, Shepard says we can take him, and Holland calls him a crazy son of a bitch.
Then we're back in the shelter, actually looking like a shelter. Shepard is continuing to talk to Teyla as though she's Holland, but we're seeing things from Tayla's perspective now. She's trying to get Shepard to listen to her, but he's just talking about how he's going to get you out of here, addresses her as captain, and tells her that she's got to buy the first round when they're back in Kandahar. So, of course, she has no idea what he's talking about and realizes that, unfortunately, he has been taken over by the hallucinations also. Outside in the forest, we see a drone fly overhead, and then we're back in the desert with Shepard. He's calling into his radio, trying to get somebody from the American side of things on his radio, but of course is not getting any answer because he's not actually in Afghanistan. Out in the forest, Ronan is wandering around and he sees the drone that was sent over by Atlantis as a Wraith dart. So he shoots it down. And then we're back in Atlantis and Zelenka is telling Dr. Weir that they have suddenly lost contact with their drone. And it was working fine. The signal was not good, but it was still at least working. He had boosted it. So he doesn't know why it would have just suddenly gone dead. And he suspects that it could have been shot down by somebody. Even though the EM shields could have interfered with the guidance system or whatever was going on there, could have interfered with it, he doesn't think that that's actually what happened. Dr. Weir asks how far away the Daedalus is, but it's apparently coming back from Earth, and it is still a couple days away, so they don't have any quick means of rescue at the moment.
Yeah, you're on your own, guys.
Apparently so.
Yeah. Then we're back in the desert. Shepard is still trying to get somebody on the radio, and he turns to see Holland, who is passed out, so he shakes him awake, tells him to stay with him. Holland promises when they get out of there, he'll say something nice at his court-martial. But he's not going to go visit him in prison. That's too much.
Yes.
Shepard gets back on the radio to no avail, and we are back with Teyla's perspective on this now. She is still pleading with him to snap out of it, but he is not hearing her at all. And then we're in the cave. Becket realizes that Kagan has no pulse again, so he calls to Barrasso, who confirms this because, this had happened before. So they're going to do some CPR.
Then we're back with Rodney, who's still fighting with the tendrils. His computer keeps beeping at him. How are power levels still rising, he wants to know. It's not possible that they can continue to go up beyond what they already were, but that is what they are doing. He says that temperature levels should be dropping, but he is getting readings that the temperature levels are rising. Everything that his laptop is telling him is just not making any sense. So he calls to Dr. Becket that he needs him to get in there right away and help him. But of course, Becket doesn't come right away because he's very busy trying to save Kagan's life at the moment. Rodney comes out to talk to him and tell him that he needs him right away, but Becket says, well, I've been busy saving this guy's life. However, Kagan has just been revived, so Barrasso heads back outside, presumably to guard again. Rodney insists that he needs Becket's help, and Becket tells him, well, Kagan needs me. We nearly just lost him now. And Rodney asks, who's we? Becket says, Barrasso and I. He looks around and Barrasso's not there because, again, he left, but he had been there when Rodney first came in, except that he wasn't there. Rodney didn't see anybody there, so Barrasso was not in there. And this is actually a rather disturbing scene because it's actually not that Barrasso's not in there. It's that Barrasso is lying dead on the floor about 5 feet away from where Becket has been working, out of Rodney's line of view when he first came in. But when Rodney sees Barrasso and points Becket over to him, Becket does see him, looks completely shocked, walks over, touches Barrasso's face and presumably is trying to get a pulse, but realizes that he's cold. And when he tries to move Barrasso's arm, it won't move. It's in rigor mortis. So not only has Barrasso not been here this whole time, as Rodney thought, but Barrasso's been dead pretty much the entire time that Becket thought he was talking to him.
Very disturbing.
So it is quite disturbing, especially because Barrasso's just sitting there, eyes open, staring into space.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Rodney is insistent, all right, we really need to get that generator off right now. Follow me, Becket. So Becket's gonna follow him.
Yep.
Looking extremely disturbed.
Yeah. And we see Ronan is still chasing his Wraith. He does see the shelter that Teyla and Shepard are in. Inside the shelter, Teyla's still trying to reason with Shepard. You need to get me to Dr. Becket because I can't walk. And there's no more danger because Major Leonard is dead. But Shepard is still in Afghanistan. He sees a Taliban in the distance, which is where Ronan is. And he shoots Ronan a little bit. Just a little.
Shooting.
Just a little in the arm.
Small shooting.
Yeah. Ronan returns fire, of course, and Teyla's shouting for Ronan not to shoot them. But Ronan is also in his own little world, just like Shepard is.
Seeing Wraith, worth mentioning.
Yeah.
Seeing Shepard and Teyla as Wraith,
Yes.
specifically.
Ronan does get out of there eventually after he's wounded. I probably said that in a weird order, but Shepard's like, yeah, all right. Well, he ran off. I clipped him in the arm. It's fine. He's probably getting his buddies, though. So he pulls Teyla up and is like, we gotta get out of here. And she's like, no, stop this. Get me out of this crazy town.
Elsewhere in the forest, Ronan is trying to wrap up his damaged arm. Shepard is dragging Teyla along, telling her that everything's going to be fine. Going to take care of his friends, meaning he's going to take care of whatever other Taliban might be there with Ronan, even though we all know that that is not a real thing. Teyla continues to look alarmed as she's going along with Shepard. Then we're back in the cave. Rodney is trying to guide Becket to what needs to be done. He is using his laptop, so he can't actually reach into the thing to disconnect the things that need to be disconnected. He has to have Becket do that while he is doing stuff on his laptop. So he keeps telling Becket, pay attention, it's not that one, it's the one on the left. But of course, Becket has no idea what he's really doing. He's trying his best, but he doesn't know exactly which of the many tendrils he's supposed to be damaging or cutting or disconnecting.
No! This one goes there, that one goes there, right?
And then Barrasso comes in and tells Dr. Becket that he needs him right away. Becket stops what he's doing on the thing and goes to head out with Barrasso, but Rodney asks him what the hell he's doing. Becket says he needs me. Rodney has no idea what he's talking about because there's nobody there, but Becket points at Barrasso and says, Barrasso. Rodney assures him, no, remember, he's dead. So there's not actually anyone there. You need to come back here. I promise you there's nobody there. And Barrasso is dead. You can't help them. Barrasso keeps trying to convince Becket that Kagan has crashed again and that he needs to go out and help them. Becket still keeps pleading with Rodney, can't you see him? How do you not see him? He is right there. So they just go back and forth with that a bit, with Becket trying to convince Rodney there's someone there, Rodney trying to convince Becket that there is not anybody there. But Becket ultimately caves and goes out to follow Barrasso to try to help Kagan. And then as soon as he does that, there is a very red alarm on Rodney's computer. And it says, overload imminent.
Red alarm! Red alarm!
Uh-oh.
Very flashy.
Yeah.
Very alarmy.
Becket and Barrasso save Kagan again.
Yes.
Barrasso's like, yeah, we're not going to keep him alive for long if McKay keeps pulling you away. Rodney shouts to Becket from the other room, and Barrasso's like, no, we need to leave with Kagan now. So Becket picks up Kagan, and they leave the cave. It's so weird. Sorry, I'm just trying to think of, like, what the reasoning is here. Like, are the hallucinations trying to keep you hallucinated? Like, there's no agency, I would think, but I don't know how this thing works.
I don't know that there is a reason here. I think it's just making them all hallucinate their worst fears and their worst experiences.
Yeah. So, yeah, they flee. And then
So I don't think it's guiding them in any way specifically.
Okay. Then we're back in Shepard's Afghanistan hallucination, where he's been helping Holland along. He tries to put him down, but they tumble down a dune together, which must have been really unpleasant if that happened in the forest, too.
Yes, indeed. I was thinking the same thing. That must have been awful for poor Teyla.
He and Holland keep talking. Where are we going? Are we going in the right direction? Shepard says, west. Holland says, it looks east to me. But, so they do some back and forth, just showing that they've got a good rapport. Ultimately, Shepard's like, all right, we gotta get going. Can you stand? Holland's like, sure. I'm not sure about walking, though. Later on, they have spotted some Taliban, and they are fired upon by the Taliban. He fires back, and he blows up some vehicles. So, good shooting there.
Oh, nice shooting, Tex.
In this fantasy world. And Shepard and Holland continue to escape.
Thankfully, that Taliban he was seeing was not Ronan this time. Then we're back with Ronan, which is how we know he's not dead.
Yeah.
He's running around through the forest. He does see Shepard and sees Shepard, of course, as a Wraith with Teyla. He actually sees Teyla as Teyla this time, so tries to shoot the Wraith that is carrying Teyla, which is, of course, actually Shepard. But then we are back in the cave. Rodney is desperately trying to get the thing to shut down, rather to avoid the overload that it says is imminent. He yells at Becket that they need to get out of there immediately, but when he runs out, he doesn't see Becket anywhere. So he keeps running, hoping that Becket has made it to safety, and he takes a dive, a running leap out of the cave, dives to the ground, and then nothing happens. There's no explosion. And he realizes, oh shit, it's happening to him too. He hallucinated the overload. But then Teyla is there, Teyla and Shepard, together. Teyla, thankfully, still not hallucinating anything. But Shepard is still hallucinating and sees Rodney as a Taliban and shoots him right in the chest.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad. Teyla is horrified, of course.
Ronan hears it and heads towards them. And then we are back in Shepard's Afghanistan. Rodney is there, but he is the wounded Taliban who is on the ground and speaking a different language. So Shepard, we don't hear what he says. Shepard gets on his radio again, trying to reach anyone. And Holland thanks Shepard for coming after him. In the more realistic version of things, Ronan is getting closer, but he does still see a Wraith instead of Shepard, although he is still seeing actually Teyla and Rodney, which is good, I guess. Yes. Shepard is still on the radio. Rodney told Teyla how to fix the situation, how to stop it, the machine, but he obviously can't do it. So Teyla tells Shepard where the interference is coming from, how he can fix his radio by going in the cave. Shepard doesn't see the cave, but she promises the entrance is right there. And you need to trust me. The enemy is jamming our radio signal. And you need to bring me in there right now. Especially because Ronan starts shooting at them again.
Yes.
So he does. Shepard pulls Teyla inside while Ronan chases after them.
Once they're in there, Teyla picks up Rodney's tablet. There is no warning on it, nothing read. She looks at it and realizes that Rodney was almost done and asks out loud, "Why did you stop?" Of course, we know it's because he was hallucinating. She tells Shepard to reach in to get the largest cord. Shepard is still looking around confused, really having no idea what's going on. She yells at him to just do it. But then we're back in Afghanistan, seeing Holland telling him to radio for help to get them out of there. Back in reality, Teyla continues to try to guide him to pull the correct cable that needs to be pulled. As Ronan comes in with his gun at the ready, he is ready to shoot the Wraith that is in fact Shepard. Teyla tells Shepard again, pull on that cable, and he does. Thankfully, he manages to pull the right one, and the thing turns off. Teyla is very relieved. Shepard all of a sudden starts looking around, seemingly realizing where he is again. Ronan, similarly, starts looking around, realizing where he is again, and seems very surprised to be where he is, as does Shepard. Shepard asks Ronan to maybe put your gun down, buddy. They address each other by name to confirm that they are actually seeing reality again. Ronan asks, what the hell? Shepard says, yeah, who knows? Let's get out of here.
I'm glad it was an instantaneous stopping of this.
Yes, I was wondering, will it take some time to wear off? That is good that reality came back to them all right away.
Yes.
They go out and look for Becket, who, again, had been missing. And Becket is just laying in the woods, holding Kagan. Kagan looks pale and terrible. I thought he was dead at first, as I'm sure they intended. But no, Kagan is still alive, but barely. And Becket is continuing to look disturbed and upset by everything that's happened.
Yeah. Yeah. So was Becket actually doing CPR on Kagan, and did Kagan actually need it? Or was that all hallucinated?
Yeah, who knows? I think that he was probably doing at least some of that, but I doubt that Kagan had actually... If Kagan had lost life signs that many times, I find that very implausible that he would still be alive. So
Fair.
I'm pretty sure that there were times there that Becket was doing CPR that it was not actually needed.
Okay.
is my guess, which
That's
would have
unfortunate for Kagan.
not done Kagan's bullet wound any favors. And yeah,
No.
probably got some extra broken ribs now on top of that.
Since the thing has been shut off, Atlantis is able to communicate with them again. So Dr. Weir is on the radio talking to Shepard next about how she could probably send them some more personnel if he needed it to help with their wounded. But Shepard said Becket says he's fine, so I'm assuming they've been sent some other supplies and stuff.
Yeah, they showed a bunch of bags and medical kits lying around on the ground that were not there before.
And Daedalus will be there pretty soon, so it's going to be okay. Shepard's talking to Weir at the cave site where Becket is working on Rodney's gunshot. Weir asks how Rodney and Teyla are. Rodney shouts, "He shot me!" Shepard's like, they're fine. Kagan's out of the woods maybe too. Rodney shouts again, "You shot me!"
Who shot me?
And Weir asks, "None of you experienced any after effects from this device?" Shepard says, "Well, we're creeped out." And Becket in the background is like, "It was the most unsettling thing I've ever experienced."
Yes.
It was a very funny scene.
It was. To be fair, I think Beckett's was the most disturbing of all the hallucinations, since he was hallucinating that a dead person was alive while the guy actually was dying next to him.
Yeah. But Shepard assures Weir they're going to be fine, so they'll check in a few hours. Rodney's still yelling that Shepard shot him. So Shepard's like, "Yes, I shot you, and I said I was sorry." Ronan's like, "He shot me too." And he says, "I'm sorry for shooting everyone. Let's get some rest, okay?" He sits down next to Teyla, who asks if he was actually able to save Holland, but unfortunately that one had a bad ending in real life. He did not save Holland, and Tayla's like, "Well, at least we've survived." And while Rodney's continuing to shout about being shot, and they tell Rodney to get some sleep. End of episode.
End of episode. Kathy, did you like the episode?
I did like the episode. At first I was a little bit like, I'm going to be so bored of this scenes with Shepard in the desert. This isn't reality. I know it, and it's going to be annoying. But I actually thought they did a pretty good job with flipping back and forth between his scenes and the reality. Obviously, Beckett's scenes were very disturbing once you know what's going on. But I thought it was done pretty well. It kept my attention pretty well. It was entertaining. The end part was very funny. And I actually talking about it made it less fun, but I enjoyed it while I was watching it. How about you?
I liked it too. I thought it was a really good episode. Very entertaining, exciting, very creepy and disturbing at times, but also funny at other times. I know I don't normally like episodes where people are hallucinating, but I think that a couple things made it different in that the show wasn't like trying to convince us that this is real like it's done in other episodes where, like with the episode with Dr. Weir, like obviously we all knew that she hadn't been hallucinating Atlantis the whole time.
Right.
So they weren't using that premise of, yes, this person was hallucinating the entire last several years, as happened with the one with Teal'c as well.
Yeah.
But also the fact that we were getting different hallucinations somehow made it more interesting to me, and knowing the cause of the hallucinations also, I don't know, it all just kind of made it different to me than that episode with Dr. Weir and the episode with Teal'c where they were just living a completely different life, and that was like the whole episode. I thought this was a much more interesting way to do it. So,
agreed, yeah.
Good episode overall.
Yeah. Are we going to have a good episode next time?
Here's hoping. We are on season 10, episode 10 of Stargate SG-1, The Quest, Part 1. SG-1 finds the planet where they believe the San Graal is located, forced to forge temporary alliances with Adria and Baal. They undertake a quest to find it.
Well, that's a fun party.
Neat. Yeah. Over at TVDB, SG-1 races against Baal in the hunt to find the San Graal, Merlin's anti-Ori weapon, and comes up against a series of ancient trials. That's different. Are they against Baal or are they working with Baal? And no mention of Adria in that one. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, I hope it will be fun.
Hopefully so. Anything else?
I don't think so.
All right.
Thank you so much for listening to Stargazing with Kathy and Mary. Our fully listener-supported program couldn't be done without you. Show your support by telling everyone you know how awesome this show is. Find us at stargazing.space. Reach us by email, stargazing@gmail.com. Find us on social media at Blue Sky. Get some merch, tinyurl/stargazing. And finally, show your financial support at patreon.com/stargazing. Thank you for traveling through the gate with us. Catch you next time on Stargazing with Kathy and Mary.
I'm Mary.
I'm Kathy.
And you've been listening to Stargazing, the end.
The end. Woo.
Who cares about an order of magnitude?